Sterling. That's a penalty, is it? No, he's still going. Oh, how about that? How about that?
Carried on into the penalty area. Here he is. And then Giroud. What a goal. Brilliantly worked. Fantastically finished.
Here's Ramsey. And Alexis Sanchez. Great footwork. 3-0. Liverpool blown away. A 3-goal, 8-minute Arsenal blast. Alexis blocked by Newcastle defender. Still not cleared. Wow, what a volley. Where others failed, Ozil has succeeded. Well done, Arteta. Plenty of it here. Yes! Arsenal have their breakthrough. Mikel Arteta. They deserve it. Oh, they're behind again. It's amazing. It's Aaron Ramsey. That's the response of Arsenal. Iwobi, nicely done. Brilliantly done. Bayer in, Walcott. Sensational Arsenal goal. Is that a handball? No. Nothing the play can do. Great, what a goal! Arsenal have made it 3-0. Jack Wilshere with an absolute thunderbolt.
Hello and welcome to the Clock End Talk. My name is Tez. You can follow us at the Clock End Talk. How fucking good am I? Simple. The Clock End Talk. Some stupid cunt decided to come up with at CET_Arsenal and all this shit. No, it just kept fucking me up. So anyway, you can get us at the Clock End Talk. Also on YouTube. We go at Periscope and Facebook. TikTok's there too. So not that I haven't been doing much because it's like, fucking copyright's been fucking me up lately. So anyway, Tony, we're back, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, it seems like it's been a whole day since I spoke to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. At least now you've made up a Twitter name that you're actually going to remember rather than the last 10 that you made up that you forgot 10 seconds after you made them.
Hey, listen. It wasn't me, okay, who fucked the polls up, okay? You want to manipulate polls and you want people to steer to certain agendas, that's on you, buddy.
I'm going to do it again just so you have to think of another name.
Okay, those who missed yesterday's show, yes, we did a Super League podcast. Schwinn was also with us, and wow, hasn't it been a 24 hours since we done that show, because the news has just completely and utterly changed. Tony, it looks like this Super League's fallen on its arse, mate.
Yeah, looks like it's done. Am I surprised? I guess I am. I said yesterday that I didn't think it would go ahead in the format that was being proposed, but I thought there'd be a middle ground and it would be somewhere closer to the Super League's proposal, and it looks like we're getting nothing like nothing at all. One thing I do really want to say is that I hope that as fans we've seemed to have won, or the ones that didn't want it seem to have won, but I really want us to keep up this energy. UEFA, don't let them get away with it. FIFA, don't let them get away with it. Racism in football, make sure that is an issue that's tackled properly. Online abuse, make sure it's tackled properly, and that's throughout all of football. And then the one that is Arsenal specific is make sure Kroenke feels the heat. And it's difficult because I want Kroenke to feel it without the players, really, because we all know they was against it anyway. But the only thing, and I've been racking my brains, and I think I've said this for years on here, I don't know how you get rid of an owner, because at the end of the day, none of us are going to pull together and buy him out. And even if a whole fan base pulled together and buy him out, you still have to elect someone to be the chairman of the club, and they're going to get power hungry. So, as I said, I want football fans to keep up the same energy that they've used for this, because it shows when they do group together, it can work. So we need football fans to keep it up across multiple different things. We've defeated the Super League now. Now, next for me should be UEFA or FIFA, both at the same time. That, I don't know, that sounds like I'm undermining racism, but I kind of include racism as part of UEFA, who couldn't care less about it, really. I mean, look how quickly they acted to try and block a Super League, but then to ban a Slavia player, nothing against Slavia. He's just a recent one that it took 3 weeks essentially, and then they gave him the minimum possible punishment. So it shows they can act when they want to and when their pockets are threatened. So yeah, we need to keep up the same energy with UEFA, FIFA, racism, social media, and then as that's for all of football. And then as Arsenal fans, we need to deal with Kroenke. I don't know how we deal with Kroenke, but we need to deal with it.
Look, yesterday I said I was so split on this Super League thing, and I still maintain, or I am totally split. And a lot of it's because of, and I said it yesterday, the minute you rubber stamp the Neymar deal to go through for £200 million, the minute you let a country own a club, and the minute you took money from that same owners to sponsor the Champions League, it just doesn't sit well with me. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
I know.
yeah, I mean, within my UEFA bracket. Sorry, I know I've just spoke for ages. Corruption comes heavily in that UEFA bracket. Be it them taking money for no reason, as we discussed yesterday. Be it them selling off World Cups to Russia and Qatar. Be it their officials, as in Platini and Blatter, who was obviously FIFA, taking bungs. Be it, I remember what World Cup was it where they basically said we're not allowed to take bribes, which should be fucking obvious, but they were allowed to accept gifts. So every person who had a vote in the decision was getting brand new Ferraris, but that wasn't a bribe, that was a gift. Like, give me a fucking break. So you're right to talk about transfers, but I was grouping UEFA and FIFA together, but all of them issues are in it: corruption, money laundering. They all come under that bracket for me. And as you said, country ownership, blocking ownerships of some people, but not others.
It's absolutely ridiculous, and that's where I wanted the change more so, and that's why I was so split on this decision, because I felt as though, look, and I still maintain it, clubs like Barcelona, who are reportedly going bankrupt, they're out spending, and I don't want to echo what I said yesterday, but like you get where I'm coming from. Is I still feel we need major change. Major shake-up of the game, major shake-up in the governing bodies running the game. And I hope that does come along. I hope it really does. How? I don't know. I thought this may be a step forward in, I don't want to say the right direction, because it was making a complete mess of the situation at the same time. But it just felt for me like it was a shake-up, Tony. And it was a shake-up to, the UEFA and people like that.
Well, it was as I was driving to boxing earlier. One of the presenters on the radio said a phrase that I agree with and I hadn't really heard, so I'm going to repeat it and take all credit for it. Evolution is very good and needed in all walks of life. Revolution very rarely ends up well, and this tried to be a complete revolution of football as we know it, which was never going to work. But evolution is needed, and as I said, we need to evolve by dealing with these owners, dealing with UEFA, dealing with all of the problems I've just listed. So we need to evolve and get better, but revolution isn't the way to do it. So yeah, for me, we still need to address problems, but now it seems fans have power. And one thing I do want to say, and maybe I am very biased in this, I don't want to see the clubs punished. I think everyone's shooting themselves in the foot if they punish the clubs, because let's be honest, it's been one or two people at the head of all of these clubs, and the fans of what's been great about the last few days is the fans of every club, no matter if they're a League Two club or a Champions League winner, have pulled together. And I think it'd be stupid for the league or UEFA to go now and punish the clubs and create a huge divide again. I don't. Although it's one of them things, you know what? If we'd have all stayed in it, I would have said punishing the clubs is a good idea. But now fans have got their way, and it's been disbanded. I don't think punishing anyone does the right thing. And if they do punish them, it's only going to lead the clubs towards trying another breakaway. And as much as we've defeated this breakaway, they will try again. Not soon, but this isn't.
They were, that's right. And this will bobble away now for a little while. And I was reading an article this morning, and it was all about the Bundesliga and the 50+1 rule. And I thought to myself, like, these guys, like, I don't know, right? Okay, how long the Bundesliga? I'm not a massive, I don't want to say fan because I'm a fan of football, but I don't follow the Bundesliga as closely as I do the Premier League. But like when that Bundesliga was set up all them years ago, and the 50+1 rule ownership, I thought that there is the best rule I've seen in football because the fans, they actually, they own a club. They have the last say at the end of the day. It's
Yeah, I mean,
up to the
what's
fans. It's
difficult
brilliant.
is like, I agree, but people in England are talking about it now, and it's almost impossible to get in retrospectively because,
Yeah, I don't
as I
know
said,
how.
like say Kroenke, how are you going to get 51% of his business off him? And look, let's not get confused. To him, it's a business. So, and I say the club's valued at 2 billion, which I think it was 2.04 billion. That 51% is worth what 1.02, 1.03 billion. Who's going to come up with that? The fans can't pull together and get that. So, as I said, we it needs sorting, and the 51+1 in an ideal 50+1, sorry, is the ideal way to go. But I think that ship sailed.
Yeah. I will welcome in Addy. How are you, brother?
Addy's on mute.
You're on mute, buddy.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, got you now, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. We didn't see you yesterday. We done that Super League show, and we're just touching on.
The
Crazy 48
Super League
hours.
show was yesterday. I thought it was for today.
No, we did it yesterday. We did message you in the group.
No, I saw the link. I thought it was, we're going to discuss Super League as well on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
my bad.
No, that's all good. But we're just, obviously what we did record yesterday, mate. It's it's old news now, anyway. I guess we're just, we're just talking the last 48 hours, mate. And your thoughts on what's happened?
I'm disappointed. Can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha. Yep.
Yeah. I'm disappointed. I wanted the Super League to kick off. I feel that there needs to be some change in UEFA. I feel how they're running it, like whether everyone says, yep, these guys were greedy and everything like that. UEFA, FIFA, just as greedy, just as corrupt. So you know what? Let's have some change. And that's what I was looking for. And to be fair, I was up for it. How they went about it as well, I was happy with it. The only thing I wasn't happy about was the structure and the format of how they put it out. I felt that they could have done, like they could tweak quite a lot of things to make it really, really appeasing to the fans and everything. Obviously, I don't want it to affect Premier League or any of the teams' domestic leagues, which potentially it could, but I do think that there is a workaround. And for me, eventually, money talks, and I already know FIFA would have buckled at the heels and said, okay, yeah, cool, you can have your league, but then it has to get run under FIFA.
So it sounds like you still wanted the Premier League, and that's what we all still want. We all still want the Premier League, but we all agree that changes still need to happen. And for me, like I said, this was a I don't know whether it was the right way to go about it, because you never know when it disrupts football so much, disrupts fans so much. So,
but what is the right way? Nobody
I don't
knows
know.
the right
That's
way.
what I mean. Nobody knows the right way. My only other issue was, and I thought about it after yesterday's show when Tony was talking about franchising and all of a sudden you've got Arsenal playing in Africa. No offense to Africans, or even Australia in Sydney, and that was. I felt that was going to be a really bad way if it did ever go down that path for the global dollar.
I didn't want it to go to fall in line with American sport or anything like that. Literally, the idea of having Europe's elite or the biggest clubs in Europe in one league, that appeals to me. And for me, I don't feel the structure of the Champions League was like that. Like, for example, with me, yeah, the fact that we had Bayern Munich or either Bayern Munich or Barcelona in a knockout stage for like 5 years, 6 years in a row, I just felt it was like inevitable. It was always going to be one of them. So actually having a league format would have been good. As I said, for me, I would have had 2 leagues.
I'm just going to cut you off there quickly because MWA Gunners says Arsenal officially out. Now we're recording a show, so I'm not seeing this news. I don't know if it come through on a tweet or officially on the website, but he did say Arsenal officially out.
Yeah, I mean, it was inevitable. Once one or two jump ship. I mean, look, I spoke about it yesterday. I disagree with a hell of a lot of what Gary Neville said, but where he did hit the nail on the head is once one jumped, everyone would follow, and it was always going to be City or Chelsea that went first because they didn't need the money. But as I said, once one went, everyone was going to jump, and that I don't just mean everyone is in the Premier League. I mean all 12 clubs. I think technically, Atletico were the second to jump ship. It was just it wasn't well received by fans, and as soon as one jumped, that was always going to be the case. I think people were a bit worried that Arsenal were going to be last, but there was nothing to hang on to. It's not like there was a dream of some other big. It's not like there's infinite big clubs and Chelsea would go out and someone of equal size would come in. The league was set up around the top 12, or give or take the top 12 in the Deloitte Rich list. So you take out Chelsea and put in the team that are, no disrespect to Roma, but you put in Roma, it loses some glamour. And then one other team goes out and you go and put in Sevilla, it loses more glamour. So I mean, there's no surprise that Arsenal are out. They've
well, it's coming from James Ollie, is it? Senior football
is
writer.
Is it not James Benj?
No, senior football writer from ESPN. He says Arsenal are out of the European Super League. Statement due shortly. So watch that space, boys. Well, let's not watch that space, really. Look, as Tony just said, it's once one goes, the dominoes fall, really, doesn't it? Like, yeah, it's interesting though, because it's still interesting on the. Well, I will say it. These owners, like these billionaire owners who own the club, and Kroenke is one. So it's very interesting to see that Kroenke has, obviously the first time, has he bowed to the fans, or has he gone because of everyone else is going, and he's like, oh, I just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He doesn't seem that type of bloke to really care too much about anything else apart from the dollar.
But when it became obvious it wasn't going ahead, if he stays and hangs around with it and dies with it, then he is affecting his pocket, because the fans are going to be annoyed for a while, but they're still going to go back. We're going to protest against Kroenke, but look, I'm maybe a bit of a hypocrite because I said I'll go anyway, because for me, going to Arsenal is pretty much my identity. Like, people know me as the guy who goes to every Arsenal game, even amongst friends that I grew up with when I was 5 years old. Until now, they're still friends, but I'm still the guy that goes to every Arsenal game. So being in the Super League, even though I was against it, I openly said yesterday that I was still going to go, and now we're not in it. I'm still going to go, and I'll still moan about Kroenke. But had he kept it up much longer and still tried to hang on, even though it was clearly gone, then a lot more people would have just thought, fuck this, I'm out. And look, we are going to lose some match-going fans over it. Of course we are, but I think most will maybe miss a game or two in protest, but I think most of them.
We've seen it before. Yeah, we've seen it before. And yesterday, Tony, it seems to like this is the time news does come true, and we were kind of asking why that was. I got a message yesterday after the show that apparently the news comes out of Boston, and it's a great time for Boston in America or something like that.
Where the Glazers are from?
I'm not sure, but apparently that's where it comes out of, Boston. So I don't know if
I
that's
think I
9
might be
a.m.
wrong.
there or what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might be wrong. I think that's where the Glazers are from.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's just what a bloke messaged me and said, yeah, no, the news comes out of Boston. It says, oh, okay. No idea. I'm just going to read through a couple of. Look, let's move on. I think, we will move on, but I'll read a few of these blokes' comments. Addy, have you got anything else to add on the subject before we move on? Because you didn't get much of a chance, mate.
No. I just feel obviously now it's looking likely, very, very, very unlikely with everyone dropping out for it to go ahead. But I think Tony said it earlier, like there has to be major reforms within UEFA for this not to happen again. And really and truly, I feel it will happen again. When? Will it be in the next 10 years? Will it be in the next 15 years? It's going to happen again. So will you have league chairmen and owners that will say, we don't care what FIFA say. We don't care what UEFA say. We're just going to do it anyway.
Well, it makes you wonder how long UEFA can, can hold them back for. It seems like the clubs, at least these 12 clubs who have signed up for it, they need another revenue stream, and this was obviously going to give them a revenue stream, and they jumped at the chance of £400 million.
I don't know who would.
Well, mate, I said it yesterday. If I had to try and balance books, it's a no-brainer for me as a business, no-brainer. So, MAA Gunner, he mentioned stripping titles and point deductions won't hurt the owners. It hurts us more. Absolutely, it does hurt the fans. I don't even know if it's
they can't strip titles. They can't remove history. History is history. Points deductions is the main worry. I don't think relegation, because they've basically admitted by the 14 clubs voting against it that they can't survive without the Big Six, or they'll struggle to survive without the Big Six, as arrogant as that sounds. But point deductions is a major worry. Not to be honest, as an Arsenal fan, if they're going to do it now. Because if they take 10 points off us, we move from 9th to 15th or whatever. I don't know where it would take us, but who cares? It's the same shit. If they start all 6 teams next season with a points deduction, then it's just. I mean, look, all the teams are still going to stay up and whatnot, but it just gets silly for me. As I said, it doesn't really hurt the owners as long as they don't go down, which they won't, unless it's a 50-point deduction, and then you're just basically having a mini league between them 6 anyway to see which 3 go down and which 3 stay up. Look, it's not going to happen.
I think if that happened, I think they may rethink their.
I agree. Just the one thing I think Arsenal fans have to be wary of, if we don't manage to get Kroenke out, which I don't think we will. Obviously, I'm hopeful we will, but I don't think we will. Is don't expect the fucking bean to be spent this summer, because you can't see it as we've denied him 400 million a season minimum or whatever it was, and then go spend some fucking money in the summer. Again, I want him to spend money. Our team clearly needs investment, but I mean, think of it logically. You've just denied this guy his business doubling in money, in price, and then you're going to expect him to go and splash 50 million on this player, 30 million on that player. Ain't happening.
No, it won't. But this is half the problem, though. We all want these clubs to commit to massive transfers and massive fees between each other, which I'm for, but someone's got to stop rubber stamping stupidity. If a club is on the brink of or on the verge of collapse, why are we why are you UEFA or whoever rubber stamping these deals to go through? Bit of fucking due diligence doesn't go astray. A couple others. Nay, how are you? Nay, you were with us yesterday, brother. It's really hard to drive out an owner because hurting finances is hurting the club itself too. He does also say, and I was actually looking for this before I come on because there was reports about Chelsea dropping out of this, and I could only see Man City. They're the only club who I can officially see.
Yeah, so Man City, the others have said they're going to. I don't know about Arsenal. Obviously, that's happened while we're on air. Chelsea had said they were going to withdraw. Man City are the first, and I think up until now, or up until when we started recording, are the only ones that had actually sent the documents, the contract or whatever it is, saying we're out. Barcelona had said we're not in until our members agree, but they hadn't said they're out.
Yeah.
Atletico had tweeted they're out pretty much, but
yeah,
not
I've seen that.
sent off the documents. And it's the same with Chelsea. Man City were the only ones that were officially signed the paper, sent the papers off out. But others were as good as out. Just because the admin hadn't been done yet doesn't mean.
Yeah, that's right. And hey, look, mate, that for me, man, Manchester City take a fucking bow because even Chelsea, right? These two clubs, I don't want to say, they stopped it because that's not what's happening here. But the dominoes are falling, and they were the two clubs that I did not think would be the first for the, you know what I mean? Like, because they're owned by, let's face it, like billionaire owners. They spend shitloads of money, and I would have thought they would have wanted this.
But that's why they're the first. They have a lot less to lose because they're going to be the richest in the Premier League still.
Yeah.
They were, as I said, I don't want to give Gary Neville praise because I think he spoke for his arse for 2 days and everyone licked him for it. But the one thing he got right was they were the two teams that if anyone was going to kickstart it, it was going to be one of them two.
Yeah, okay. No, he says, let's hope Kroenke sells as reported. I see things coming through, but
Kroenke ain't selling for nothing.
I don't think he. Like,
Arsenal's a cash cow for him. Why?
Oh, I don't know if it's a cash cow. I don't
Arsenal
know.
is a cash cow for him.
Do you know what? On Saturday night, if someone said to me, Kroenke, will Kroenke sell? I'd have said, not a chance in hell. Now, I think there's a chance just because he's always angled for this Super League to get the American model where he's going to get this money. Now he thinks that's basically not going to happen, or at least in the next 10 years.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that too. Yeah.
The only thing, look, the reason I think he doesn't sell is I don't think anyone's going to buy it. And I've said on this, we've been doing this podcast, 5 years? And I think I said on day one, I only want to hear, is it Dangote? I don't want his name brought up.
Oh, that Nigerian bloke. Yeah, the boys are talking about it now in the Telegram chat.
Yeah, I'm not against him, but I've just heard this story for so long, and he's come out with stupid statements in the past that it was just like he was trying to get Twitter followers. So unless he comes seriously, I'm not putting him on the table. And then you go, well, if Kroenke's going to sell, who's going to come and pay 2 billion, maybe more for the club? It's valued at 2 billion, but if something's valued at a price, you usually sell it for more, unless it's something you don't want anymore. So unless someone's going to come and rock up with minimum 2 billion, and I can't put a name on that, and I don't think many of us can, that's I think why he's going to stay, because I think he would actually be open to sell after this Super League thing. I just can't see who's going to come in and buy.
Yeah, Tony, it's now been official, and Arsenal have sent out an open letter to our fans. We needed no reminder of this, but the response from our supporters in recent days has given us time for further reflection and deep thought. It was never our intention to cause such distress, however, when the invitation to join the Super League came, while knowing there were no guarantees, we did not want to be left behind. Ensure we protected Arsenal in the future. And it goes on, there's a bit of a it goes on. We know it will be time to restore your faith in what we are trying to achieve here at Arsenal, but let us be clear that the decision to be part of the Super League was driven by our desire to protect Arsenal, the club you love and support, game you love, and greater solitary financial stability. Stability is essential for the game you can read it. Prosper. It goes on. It's official. At the end of the day, it's official. They've stepped back from it. Good on Arsenal, I guess. I still will maintain something has to change. Like these clubs are in desperate need and they're crying out for help. And this was a cry out for help. This Super League.
One of my friends has just messaged me because I've been saying the whole time, similar to what Addy's been saying, that I wasn't for it, but we need to look at UEFA and whatnot. And he wasn't interested in hearing that because he was so against the Super League. But he's literally just messaged me saying, "Now we're out, Tony. You're exactly right. Next step, UEFA."
It's like it's the truth.
Exactly. I said it yesterday too. I said exactly. It's not like it's just. Oh, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's just, Anyway,
it's the honest truth. Like UEFA, like for example, they've proposed UEFA Conference League.
Sorry, Addy, can I just interrupt you? Tez, put Nayslayer's comment up because I don't know if that's true. But if it is, it's.
I was just reading it too. I was just reading that.
Sorry, Addy, but I just read it.
That's right.
He said UEFA offered England's big six clubs, including Arsenal, a significant sum of money to leave the Super League. The same offer wasn't made to the Spanish clubs, who are seen as the associates' main enemy. That there, I'm telling you, is fucking, you hit it, Tony. It's huge. If that's true, that's huge.
I'm good. I'm not saying Nayslayer's lying. I'm going to say I don't believe that. But fuck me if that's true. But then again, the only danger of that is then that's putting the power, say, like the whole thing, like this whole time they've been saying, oh, these clubs can't be too powerful. Well, by doing things like that, you've made them powerful. But, I mean, that's insane, if true. I don't know. Well, I don't know what you can say to that, but that's crazy.
Yeah. No, let us know where that come from, buddy. Hit me up at the Clock End Talk, mate, and I'll jump on Twitter and have a look now because that is crazy. So, sorry, Addy, go, mate.
No. I just said I just basically disagreeing with Tony in regards to UEFA. UEFA has to change. They've introduced one like new Europa Conference League, which is what 7th, 8th, 9th. Again, it's all to do with money, all to generate funds. Nothing for the benefit of actual football, but as I said, I wanted it to happen, the Super League to happen, so it can just revamp, change up everything. You need competition, and you need. I think that UEFA has become complacent, and it's about, for example, the Europa League in Azerbaijan. Yeah, cool. You wanna you want to move football around the world and bring it to so many people, but football in Azerbaijan, that was just, that Europa League final in Azerbaijan was just based on money. They didn't think of the fans when that happened. They didn't even think of the football teams that were going to play there.
Tony's spewing he can't get on Twitter now because he's on the phone recording this, and shit is going on. I'm telling you, Liverpool just put out a statement. It's official now for Liverpool. They've gone the same time as Arsenal. This is dead and buried, boys. This is. It was
dead. Like I'm not that pissed that I can't be on Twitter because the moment that basically Chelsea said, because Chelsea were the first to say they were out. At that moment, it was done.
United as well. They've withdrawn as well.
Yeah, but again, Addy, you won't know about this because we spoke about it yesterday. Coordinated at 11 p.m. Every bit of news about the Super League has been coordinated at 11 p.m.
Is it 11 p.m. there now?
5 past.
Wow. There you go, Man United. They're official now too. 8 minutes ago.
What about Tottenham?
All three. Tottenham, I was looking at Tottenham, but I was seeing
Bastards are trying to claim it as a trophy. They're saying they won the Super League.
Yes, Tottenham have gone too. So all four English clubs.
Six,
sorry. Chelsea and Manchester City, they went early.
Yeah.
The Tottenham, Liverpool, Manchester United, and Arsenal all went 10 minutes ago. Exactly the same time, pretty much. It's like they got on the phone to each other and said, "We're tweeting now."
You know, the funny thing is, I know Daniel Levy at Tottenham is crying.
That's the next news I'm reading. I was just about to say there is reports now he's looking to leave or be sacked or something. I don't know. But
Yeah, because he sacked Jose, giving him a huge paycheck, and now he doesn't have the money to pay for it.
Yeah, well, that's the news that we're hearing now. Is he's out the door.
Mourinho really is a special one, though. Only manager to ever be sacked by a Super League team.
Well, boys, what do I say? I don't even know. Look, obviously, we'll catch up on some news later, but we will quickly look. We're just going to quickly go over a couple of these games. Massive. The news is coming through, and people are wanting to read what's going on with the Super League and news. So we did have a couple of games. Europa League, Tony. We came out and we won this game 4-0, and it was a different game to the first game, the first leg.
Yeah, do you know what's crazy with Slavia? That you look at their results and you think they must have just had a bad day in the first leg because they were properly shit. They were worse in the second leg, and you think, how they they've lost what is it 2 years in the 2 years at home? They've only lost to Inter. Like there was 3 big clubs. I can't remember who it was, but big names. And this season they haven't lost to Rangers, Leicester, Leverkusen. Again, decent teams. And what we saw, what we played, you'd expect all of them teams to pump them. I mean, I don't know how Vardy didn't score against them over 2 legs if they played like that, because like fucking Lacazette was running in behind, and nothing against Lacazette, but I mean Vardy's speed and Lacazette's speed are not exactly going to be put in the same conversation. What kind of made me laugh about the game, or I can laugh about it now. I actually felt we started like shit in that game because Lacazette was coming deep, and then Smith Rowe was playing as a 9, and Smith Rowe looked lost. It was like someone had said to Smith Rowe, "You're quick. They play high up. Go and be a striker." But Smith Rowe he didn't know what he was doing. And then so you had Lacazette essentially playing as a 10, and he's not great when he's told just to play there. He's much better when he's coming off to come into a 10 as a false 9 basically. And then Smith Rowe was playing as a 9. I was watching it, I was thinking, fucking, we're in trouble here if this is what we're trying to do. And then we had the goal disallowed, the Smith Rowe goal. And then from them, I don't know if that spurred us on or rattled them, but fucking after that, we looked like a football team. We was tearing them apart down both flanks. Everyone looked dangerous. We're not going to go through the game goal by goal or whatever, but the only thing I thought was criminal about that game is that Smith Rowe didn't score because he was unreal.
He was. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Tez, I know me and you had a disagreement the day after, or maybe the night of the game, because I said Smith Rowe was man of the match, and you said, well, if a guy gets 2 goals like Lacazette did,
that's right, yeah.
And whether you want to do man of the match by that metric, and fair enough, I understand it. I at least for me, he was still man of the match, and I'm not changing my mind. But if I was to revise my statement, the best player on the pitch by an absolute fucking mile was Emil Smith Rowe, and for him to not get a goal, I just felt like,
oh yeah, look, and I totally agree. I agree. But like, I always think, and I think you brought up a point which was a great point, and I didn't listen back to the show or didn't know nothing about it. There was another game that was very similar.
Yeah, it was West Brom. We won 4-0 as well, and I think I'm not even sure if Lacazette got in our top 3 because I'm pretty sure KT got 3 from everyone because he got a goal and an assist, and then Lacazette got 2, Saka got 1, but Smith Rowe played really well, got 2 assists. But I'm pretty sure KT got it that day, but I didn't listen back either.
No, but it'd just be interesting, like. Because I'm thinking to myself, well, after that game, look, at the end of the day, if you don't score a goal, you don't win the game. So I was I'm thinking, well, Lacazette's got it almost, he scored 2 goals. But then thinking back at that game that you brought up, I think you're right. I don't think he got in our 3-2-1. So probably being a bit hypocritical. It's tough, It's tough. Like, I see your point totally. So I'm not. Anyway, Addy, your take on that game, mate? I'm not going to go through the game because it was such a distant future, but I just want to get rough thoughts on it. Yeah,
rough thoughts. We played well, and I think obviously the introduction of Smith Rowe back into the team. Again, one of the things I do love about Smith Rowe is that he is a smart player, and he understands the game so well. How he moves, his passing, and for me, obviously goals and assists are great to have, but then at the same time, how you impact the game is greater for me. So whether you have an assist, whether you get a goal, like if you're actually dominating a game, I'm happy with that. I don't need to see stats, and he actually influenced that game so much that he was amazing to me. Like if I was doing ratings, he would have got a 10 that day. Smith Rowe. But then again, like you see, obviously, I have to go back to the bad side of Arsenal. You see the potential, even against a shit team. I think Slavia Prague were poor, but then the struggle from the first leg, it just doesn't make sense.
Mate, our whole season doesn't make sense. And
yeah,
you know, I probably jumped the gun a little bit yesterday. You know, it was raw emotions. It was a knee jerk reaction as well. Like we were recording as news was coming out yesterday. You know, after 24 hours after, but like it almost made sense to me about this Super League. I don't want to harp on about it, but it made sense to me about our season so far. And I don't want to cast aspersions that we were deliberately losing games, because that's what I'm not saying that. But it was almost like this season has been we do as best we can, but we're going to have money next season to bring in new recruits, bring in this. That was my mind of thinking, because I can't understand this season for the life of me. And that's even going into the Premier League. If you had said to me at the start of the year that this is the way this season was going to pan out, I would have said you're full of shit. But it's just a crazy season, lads, and I could not put any logic behind it. And today I still can't, because, you know, thinking about it now after, you know, you thought about it after I had time to think, every club's in there to win. They're not going to go, oh yeah, we've got this coming up. This is what, you know what I mean? Like, so it was stupid thinking of me, but I'm just thinking of a reason on why our season's been so fucking shonky.
Hey, our season has been shocking due to lack of investment, lack of ideas, lack of coaching, lack of man management. And look, it can only be salvaged through the Europa League. And to be fair, like even if we win the Europa League, which will be a hard task to do, if they even keep us in the Europa League. But yeah, it doesn't.
It's crazy. And then Slavia Pro, like we were $1.28 the first league, $1.28 to win that game. They were like $8.50 or something, right? That's like, okay, I'm not sure on your odds, but that's a pretty big fucking gap. To see that the bookies got that game so wrong, I was starting to think to myself, wow, like fuck. And then to see the second leg, the bookies bought Arsenal into about 350. About 220. They were about 350. So the bookies kind of thought, this could go either way after what they seen in the first leg, I guess. But it's just so inconsistent. I can't get my head around it.
Do you know? Look, I feel like I say this all the time on here. There's enough reasons to bash Arsenal without doing it when we've beat a team that no one else is beating. So I'm not disagreeing with any of what you're saying, but we beat a team because we beat them easily. We're half undermining our performance. If we'd have gone there and snatched a 1-0, I think people will go, fucking hell, no one else has beaten them this year, and Arsenal have gone and done it. Fair play. Because we battered them and the game was over in half an hour, we're going, oh, look how inconsistent Arsenal are. And that's right. But let's hammer Arsenal when they deserve to be hammered, not for going and winning 4-0 away at a team where no one's won for fucking 3 years.
Yeah, fair point. I guess. Yeah. Oh, look, you do. You're a cunt. You're making a fair point, and I hate it.
It's a fair point, and I agree. You praise Arsenal for that performance, but then again, at the moment, it is just one performance because again, we saw in the next.
Completely agree. But then hammer them after that. If we go on to when we go on to speak about the Fulham game, if you want to hammer them, I'm particularly not gonna, but you probably will, and that's fine. But don't go, we beat Slavia 4-0 and this is why we're inconsistent. Like as I said, when we lose, we're more than happy to hammer them. When we lose, no one comes out and goes, "Oh, but we were good." Well, some people do, but they're weird. But as I said, if we're gonna hammer them when they're bad, and we're all happy to, then when we're good and we do something,
they were good. They were good. They were very, very good beating 4-0. I look, and maybe it's the inconsistency that is the worry, and it's been that worry the whole season. Like we will come out against Man United,
100%. But when we got battered by Liverpool, no one went, "Oh well, we're inconsistent, so we're going to go and win next week." It was they're all cunts, and they were. I'm not trying to say they were, but it seems we only bring up the negative of inconsistency when we win. Like, why do we have to be negative about a win when there's a hell of a lot of opportunities to be negative?
Yeah. No, fair play. Okay, we'll move on to Fulham then. So we can bash some Arsenal there. Now, look, let's not make this. I got told yesterday that episode was very depressing yesterday. So, and when we lose, another mate of mine said, "Geez, you boys are depressing when we lose a game." So I'm like, well, fucking hell, we're just normal fans, aren't we? Let's go on to Fulham because this was a game that we had so many chances, Tony, and pretty much a similar team. Was exactly the same team,
was it five changes? I think it was. To me,
I mean, El Neni, yeah. I'm just looking back now.
So Ryan, Gabriel,
I forgot about Ryan, Gabriel,
Martinelli, and I'm pretty sure there was one other. I'm sure that it was 5. Who played Hector? Hector.
Oh, yeah,
so it was 5.
Yeah,
changes.
5 changes. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
It was a weird team for me because it was like we can basically admit we've sacked off the league now. But then to go half and half is a bit weird, and I understand the integrity of the league and stuff, but I mean, some of them, like to me, Saka and Smith Rowe should have been. If you're going to go for it, go for it. That's fair enough. If you go 4-11, go 4-11. I've got no problem with that. If you're going to go half and half or fully weak, the 2 players at the top of the list that shouldn't be playing are Saka and Smith Rowe. Not only are they both young and they've had a heavy workload this season, on Smith Rowe not so much this season, but within the last 10 weeks or so, but also they've both had injury problems. Saka obviously missed international duty and then missed our game after, played against us for West Ham in the game before and clearly wasn't fit. Did he get dragged at half time or just after? But he clearly wasn't fit anyway. As I said, Smith Rowe's had injury problems in and out. Like they're the 2 that, for me, if I'm resting players, I understand resting Partey. I don't really get the point of playing Granit because if he is hell-bent on playing him left back, which seems to be working, then you don't want to risk injuring him. So I wouldn't have played Granit. Did you see the
video Arsenal put out regarding Granit at left back?
I don't know. I saw the one where he said he'll play anywhere.
Yeah, it was a little video they put out, and there was a guy breaking down all of Granit's passes from left back and everything he'd done from left back, and he was explaining Granit at left back. He wasn't explaining why he was there, but he was like, it was weird. I thought that's very weird to like be singling out Granit there.
I can't remember. I know what you're talking about. I didn't watch it, but the guy does stuff like that. It's the guy who interviewed me on TalkSport, and I can't remember his name. I'm also just name dropping that I was on TalkSport. But he works for TalkSport, but he also does Arsenal's halftime shows and after the game show. If someone said his name, I don't think Addy would know it as well. It's just gone from my head. But yeah, I mean, he does stuff like that. It's like in-depth analysis of.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, and look, no, it was good. Don't get me wrong, I was watching it, but it was just like, oh.
But they also done a what do they call it? Where you hear what they say. So is it on the mic? They done one with Tierney in the Tottenham game, and they done one with Xhaka as well, and it was just leading to there's no doubt who's the leader on the pitch or who's the captain.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one too. Yeah, that was the week.
I didn't watch it because they don't really interest me. The KT one was quite funny because it was new and we'd never really seen anything like it before. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan of them.
Maybe it's just something for their socials. It could be just.
Oh yeah, look, I'm not criticizing them for putting it out. I'm just saying it's not for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Adrian Clark is the guy that does the videos.
That might be, yeah, bully-headed bloke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that time I was on TalkSport, listening to however 2 million listeners just listening to me talk about football. He was the one interviewing me.
Listen to you. Oh, name dropping. Righto, let's hang on. Is that Russell Crowe pulling up? I don't.
He's got nothing but Adrian Clark, mate.
Addy, your thoughts on the Fulham game, mate?
To be fair, I think this season our home form has been atrocious. I don't look. We changed it up. Once I saw the lineup, I knew it was a thing where we've given up on the league. And to be fair, I don't even know how many games we've got left in the league. Like, I can understand, but then it just, for me, it's just a lack of ambition because again, you don't know what could happen. You don't know what could happen with teams ahead of you and anything like that. But look, we've given up on the league this early. And yeah, to be fair, Fulham had a few chances. We had chances. I think overall, looking at the numbers, we had. Sorry, let me grab this.
It was good. Yeah. It was shots on target with 5, shots off target with 8. Yeah. They had 1 shot on target. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the penalty. Yeah, I mean,
that was all they had. I didn't know that. I was sure they had more.
Yeah, and the thing is with shots on target, obviously blocks don't count.
Yeah.
So, and when you've got a deep defense, also hitting the post don't count. I know Saka's weren't a shot, but you hit the post, and then Danny's wouldn't have counted because it was disallowed for offside, which I think in a normal week we'd probably be talking about till the fucking cows come home. The VAR decisions in it. It's gone on.
Just like again, yeah. I don't know. It's just this year with Arsenal, and look, we talk about this game. It's just reminiscent of so many other games. So you've got chances, you've got VAR, you've got just everything that has happened another 10 times in the past at home as well. So it's like, to be fair, my focus is just on Europa League now.
I agree. I don't even know where we go with these podcasts anymore because the next couple of games are we've just it's finished, boys. Like the league, look, we'll still jump on and do a show, but for me, the league is we're done and dusted. We're done. How many games we got? 6 or something?
Six games.
I just feel as though it's done and dusted. I don't know. Like when you see that team come out, I can't sit here and say, "Oh, that was a fucking woeful performance," because we all know it was. But when you've shonked the league, well, is it a woeful performance? Because you're not even
it's
playing for the
getting
league.
well, it's getting the players minutes, and in
That's what
one
it's
sense
about.
you can half. Yeah, I mean you can half. People want Gabby to start, and he's put him in 2 league games in a row now. This is where he's going to get his chance. Balogun will get his chance before the end of the season. Now it's still not been released, but it's believed the
I was going to
signature's fully
say,
done.
is that official? No.
No, but it seems to be, but not announced.
Yeah.
But
Probably
yeah,
because of this Super League mess.
fuck knows. But see, he'll get his chance in some. He'll get some game time now. As I said, Danny's been given. To be fair to Danny, these last 3 games for us have all been good, which fucking none of us saw come in 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I mean, look, I think if we're going to look at the game on Saturday, the Sakharov side is just mental.
Yeah, that was like half a bee's dick, really. Like,
well, it's not
and
even that. It's just that they show it from that side. They don't show when the balls come off Lacazette's head. There's no way that decision with 100% certainty was offside. Look, we're not going mad about it because in the grand scheme of things, it don't really matter. But that's the type of decision where people are losing their head with VAR. Because, as I said, that ball, if they move it 1 frame on, the ball might still have been on Lacazette's head. They didn't show, so we don't know. Also, the camera angle being on the byline, you're always, if that camera angle is from the edge of the area, as it was with their potential offside, then everyone thinks Saka's onside. It's just, I mean, it's mad. As I said, there's no point going too much into it. But I mean, even we should have scored after 30 seconds, and then that's game over. Well, we should have scored twice within the first 10 minutes. First, Gabby should have scored after 30 seconds. Maybe he was offside, but should score. And then the other one that Gabby missed, where what's it called? Say Areola saved it down low. He should have left. Like he's so eager to score. And again, this is another game where I come away from it. And I said this after Sheffield United, and people weren't really pleased with me, where I didn't really think Gabby played well, but Twitter completely disagrees with me. And like Gabby missed 3 chances. He missed the other one with his left foot in stoppage time, where Areola saved. And again, it was the same as last week. If he goes across goal, we score regardless whether his shot goes in or not. But he goes near post, and it's a good save. But to be honest, I've seen people hammering Eddie who missed 1 chance and then had a bad touch on another chance and then scored. But that's all in 20 minutes, where Gabby had 97 and he's missed the same amount of chances. Look, of course he had more impact on the game. And again, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I wasn't buying everyone telling me how great he was again. Their penalty is, I don't even know. I mean, I think one of the only reasons I'm not going absolutely, well, a couple of reasons. One, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things in terms of that match isn't going to shape our season. But 2, it just highlights that Gabriel should not be playing for us, which I think most of us have been banging on for a while now. But yeah, I mean, just I don't understand the rules of football anymore. I really don't. Great penalty by Madja, fair play to him. And then just moving on, I think had our goal been disallowed, I think I would have stopped watching the league this season. I don't know how that took a 2-minute check. It baffles me. Like, I understand he was in an offside position, but when they were trying to claim he was in the eye line, and they showed an angle from when Ceballos kicked the ball, and Rob Holding wasn't even in the picture. And then they showed it from behind the goal. He was like 5 yards away, but in the 6-yard box. And then there was one angle where it slightly maybe kind of looked like Holding may somehow have been he might have seen a flicker of red in the corner. And I thought, if they go with that, I'm done. I'm probably done. And again, I don't rate Eddie. I think he's useless, but fair play to him for following up, because I don't want to pick on any specific players, but there is Arsenal players that would have stood still and watched Ceballos' shot, and then that ball would have been cleared for another corner. Also, fair play to Matt Ryan, because he's really short for a keeper. I'm surprised they gave him the permission to go up, but it was a vital flick on.
I was going to say that flick on was crucial.
Yeah.
Do you boys want to do a 3-2-1? Well, we probably should. We've got to do the last 6 games. So
Yeah.
I'll go first. Fuck. I'm stuck. Okay, I'll say Saka, Martinelli for Saka for 3, Martinelli for 2, and I'll go. I thought Tobias was pretty good too.
Well, yeah, you've
I'll go Tobias 1.
You've
Yeah,
half
go.
stolen my thunder. I only know my 3 and my 2, and I'm going to make the 1 up on the spot. Saka 3, Danny 2. I don't really think there's any debate. 1. Who played?
So Granite was good at left back.
Yeah, but he didn't have to do much. Like the thing is, we didn't have to defend, and Granite's not a marauding left back that's going to go on overlap and put balls in. So I'm not saying
he
he had a
creates
bad
a lot
game.
of balls from back there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I don't think he had an impact on the game. I'm not saying he was bad, but you don't expect your left back to have an impact on the game.
I'll just give him 1 anyway.
You what? So who's your 3-2-1? Because you've just now put Granite into the
I've gone 3 Saka, 2 Martinelli, 1 Denny.
Yeah.
You've gone 3 Saka, 2 Denny.
Yeah, but then you just said,
Granite.
but then I didn't mention Granite.
See, I can manipulate a bloke all the way over here.
Difficult. Hector's shite. Holding didn't do too much
That was
wrong.
a good little ball Hector put in, though. You have to admit that.
It was. I mean, I think everything he'd done in the first half especially annoyed me. Every single time he moved. Forget touching the ball. Every time he took a step, it pissed me off. But the cross for the goal was very good, but it was offside, so it's worth nothing. Holding wasn't bad. Gabriel was his usual shit. Said Granite was half useful. El Neni is it must be against Ramadan to pass the ball forward. Like he's not fasting, he's just not passing the ball forward for Ramadan. You know what? And I know what's coming, but I thought Smith Rowe was pretty decent. So I'm going to
go. Wow. I do like Smith Rowe. I hope Smith Rowe is next season. I can just, Smith Rowe. I'm like, come on, bring your shit on. I like everything he does.
It's just fitness with him, because even if he doesn't improve, obviously we all hope he improves, but even if he doesn't improve from here and he stays at this level forever, he's still more than good enough to be playing for us. Like his level is already good enough. We just hope he improves because he's younger. The only thing is fitness, and the same goes for Saka. Again, we expect him to improve, but he's already proved that his level now is more than good enough for us and most clubs in the world. Just is he going to remain fit for long enough? And you have that worry less with Saka than Smith Rowe because he hasn't had as many injuries. But that's the worry more so with Smith Rowe, is that will he improve isn't really much of a factor. Of course, we hope he does, but it's not a big deal really. But will he be able to stay fit and play a heavy part in the season from August to May rather than January to May?
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading comments as I coming through as well. Addy, your 3-2-1.
Danny 3, Saka 2, Pepe 1.
Oh, Pepe, he was pretty good. He's always. I'm liking this. Do we say Pepe 2.0? Because the back end of the season, he's almost got a bit of free will about his game now, hasn't he? Like, it's like the manager said, "Hey, just play your natural game." You think?
Nah, I don't listen to anything Arteta says, solely because back in the last season, Pepe improved drastically, and you saw his performances in the Premier League and in the FA Cup. Like, you could see they were starting to grow. Then obviously started this season in and out of the team. Back in the team and having a run of games, Pepe can do something, but I think he's a confidence player and he needs that run of games. And then
should have scored the header though.
You know what? He should have scored a header.
It's a good save, great
Good
save.
save, yeah. But yeah, because this is the thing, yeah. If you either you smash it near post, you score. But then on the other side of his head, he's thinking, okay, cool. Areola's gonna probably try and cover that near post. Then he put it back across goal.
He's not done a lot wrong. He's headed it down. He's just not put it back across going up.
Back, yeah.
I just want to Areola. Like, where do you rate him, Addy, as a keeper?
To be reflex wise, everything like that. Like, to be fair, I would take him. I would. I
was thinking to myself, Fulham are going. They're going down pretty much.
He's on loan. He's on loan from PSG.
Oh, is he? Okay, so
no, but you can take him. You can take it because obviously PSG.
He's like PSG's like 7th choice or something ridiculous.
Yeah, because they've got Keylor Navas, who's a huge upgrade on him. So
yeah,
he will be available in the summer. But I don't know what PSG's price tag, but whether you even do another loan.
I don't mind. I thought to myself, like, had he not have been playing in goal, I probably felt that we would have won that game.
It goes down as nothing because we scored from it, but his save from Danny for our goal was an absolute worldie.
Mm-hmm.
And not to yank on my own cock, but I did say on our podcast before that I'll take him over Leno in the summer.
I think, I was going to say, I think you mentioned.
Were you boys just talking about the Bellerin header? Sorry, I was reading comments.
Pepe header.
The Pepe header. Sorry, yeah, okay. Yeah. Did Bellerin? He had one.
Yeah, it was a hard chance. It's one of them. If he scores it, you're surprised, and not because it's Hector. If any sort of non-aerial type player scores that, if Gabby scores that, you're surprised. If Laka scores that, you're surprised. It's not an easy chance.
Post, isn't it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's just one.
Okay, I'll just read a couple of questions. Obviously, there's a lot to get through on these topics. So we've touched on a lot of topics, but these boys, they listen live, they share their thoughts. So I will just mention it. Hamza said he understands UEFA is corrupt, but can anyone just acknowledge that JP Morgan Chase less than 2 years ago were caught shipping 20 tons of cocaine? Oh, wow. I should have read this before I put it up. The game isn't safe going anywhere. 100% sure that dirty money was going to be laundered through the Super League. Listen, I'm staying well away from that, boys, because court case against me.
I don't know anything about that cocaine thing, and I'm not going to say you're wrong because I don't know. But I think anywhere there's big money, there's going to be dirty money. My argument with UEFA is that the dirty money is staying within UEFA and not going to the clubs who are earning it. UEFA are not doing much and earning fortunes for it, which is my problem. As I said, if the Super League can afford to come along and pay out 4.5 billion in the first year, and UEFA are paying out 120 million for the Champions League winners, and everyone else is obviously getting less. Like if UEFA, what is there, 32 teams in the Champions League? So if they paid everyone 100 million, that's still only 3.2 billion. So there would still be, from this proposed Super League budget, 1.3 billion spare. But they're not paying everyone 100 million. They're paying one team essentially, or the winners 120. So that's my argument. Again, I'm not saying another thing is going to be squeaky clean and run by angels and all the money is going to be accounted for. No.
But there's so many middle. There's so many pigs at the trough. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel there's so many. I don't know how many UEFA staff and things like that, but like these clubs are calling out for help. Obviously, they jumping at the chance of more money. Whether that's a business move or two, we need more money. I don't know, but money talks, right? So they're going to go where the money is at the end of the day. But it's good that they have acknowledged the fans who have spoke out and have decided against it.
Honestly, if nothing changes with UEFA, this will come back again.
It'll keep coming back. It'll absolutely keep coming back, 100%. and it'll be head. When does you know how they all vote for the World Cup? When's that one up again? When are they? I wonder when that's due.
A long time, because America's always been LA has been awarded the next one. So, and I'm not even sure. I think there was someone going against LA, and they agreed that they wouldn't run if they got the next one. I might be making that up, but we've definitely got Qatar 22, America 26, and 30 might have even been settled. I'm not 100% on that, but
yeah, okay.
Well,
I thought maybe the questions might be asked then. Yeah.
No, because that's more a FIFA thing than UEFA thing.
Mate.
Yeah, true.
Parent and child, man. Them like the whole family.
Well, FIFA have kind of they've kept their nose, after Blatter, left and things like that in a bad way. They're not squeaky clean, but their noses are clean a little bit, aren't they?
Well, you only hear about they're not clean, but you only hear about them once every.
You don't hear.
I don't want to say 4 years, but every now and then you hear from FIFA. So what's going on in the meantime is, well, I mean, again, it's another one. Why are they taking money? What do they do day to day?
What do they do? Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Mm-hmm. This season we caused our own problems. We have so many mistakes. And then he says it's the Arsenal way. Nay Slayer, he says, I think we need a season away from Europe.
Look, if that happens, like as much as people think that would help, we're not getting. Kroenke is not going to pump in money similar to what Chelsea did once they came out of Europe. They were able to focus on the league, but then investment, they heavily invested in their squad. That's not going to happen with Arsenal, unfortunately. And after today, again, as Tony said earlier, I see Kroenke saying, "Cool, here's 200 million. We have no Europa League. The only payments we're getting from the Premier League, to get us back in." I can't see that happening. Honestly, I think it will be maybe 1-2 signings again, and whether they're going to be stellar signings.
Well, this is just as you're talking, Addy. Roberta. Sorry, mate. Roberta. No, is that right?
Roberta.
That's what it says.
He says, "Where to now with no money?" And I guess what he's saying is this Super League, it guaranteed these clubs money. So I would imagine these clubs would probably sit down with UEFA and say, "Look, we need changes, guys. We need these changes."
Not going to happen immediately.
It's not going to happen. Nah. And also as well, it's not going to be Arsenal. Arsenal are not going to sit down with UEFA. Arsenal that are languishing in the Europa League, not even close to qualifying for the Champions League. They can't really say that. They can't really go to UEFA and say UEFA, Like it's going to be.
You know what? I disagree with you, because I think we've basically kept the Europa League relevant for the last 4 years. And the GDP is and the not single-handedly, but we've been a huge part in it. And look, everyone knows that UEFA are introducing what do they call it? It's not legacy. It's basically getting clubs in the Champions League because they're rich. That's coming in 3 years, or they're either rich or they bring viewers. And one of two things is going to happen. It's going to be whoever misses out in the Premier League is going to get it, and it won't be who comes fifth. It'll be if Arsenal, Man United, or Liverpool miss out, they'll get it, or whoever bribes the most. They're your two options. So forget where Arsenal are in the league, as ridiculous as that sounds. They're still in UEFA's plans. And as I said, the Super League was based on essentially the 12 richest teams on the Deloitte list. We know it was a little bit off that. And Arsenal were in it, and that's huge for UEFA. So I'm not saying we have the same pulling power as other teams, but Arsenal do still have a pulling power with UEFA, in my opinion. But in terms of, I just want to, before you move on, question about him saying with no money, Arsenal have basically been run as self-sufficient for since Kroenke's been there. The table came out today that between 2008 and 2017, I think it was, we basically didn't spend everything. Every penny spent was earned. There was no owner investment.
Yeah,
at all.
I was thinking that. And you often hear every transfer window that Arsenal's got no money. But you know what? The last 4 windows, last window summer was weird because we waited till deadline day for Party. It was almost like for me, it felt like not a panic buy, but it was always there going to happen. But the Aubameyang deal in January, like that, kind of threw everybody by surprise.
Well, I mean,
The
what I was going to go on to say.
Wow.
Well, what I was going to go on to say is even if we're remaining self-sufficient, Joe Willock's made himself worth 20 million. Ainsley's give or take there. West Ham tried to buy Eddie for 20 million in January. That would have gone slightly down, but apparently, according to the best West Ham source you can get, they're still interested. And I'd imagine around 15. His goals the other day has done him absolutely no harm at all. So if you look at Ains, Willock, and Eddie, and if you're looking at over 50 million for them, then potentially I'd imagine Lacker's going to go. It starts out, and there's like Bellerin's going to. Sorry, I've just seen do sell Bellerin. You part him off to whoever offers you anything for him. So there's money through outgoings. There's money, and also our wage bill has been so drastically reduced that there's going to be a spillover from that as well. So I wouldn't say we're going to have no money, just because I think our player sales for once are actually going to be relatively high. I'd imagine Nelson will go. I don't think he's going to command fortunes, but Nelson will add to that key. To be honest, I'm expecting around 100 million in player sales.
Yeah, no, and that's a pretty fair call, I think.
Optimistic, man. For me, from when Liverpool can sell Solanke for how many millions is he selling for?
5, I think.
And then Brewster for how many millions?
24.
Like, I don't see Arsenal having the ability to do that. Look, the only deal that shocked me was Iwobi. That was the only deal when we got 40 million for him. I was like, what? That was really, but then everybody else,
it shocked us all.
I think Chamber with a year to go, we got a very good price.
How much was Chamber?
Got 40.
40.
Yeah.
The
highest, it's still our highest ever sale.
Cool. To be fair, yeah.
I'm just going to go through.
Me personally, I wouldn't pay more than 10 million for Joe Willock. That guy is trash. Maybe Maitland-Niles, I think he has true value.
Yeah, but for West Ham,
but the thing is with Joe, it's funny. One of my customers is a Newcastle fan, and when they signed him, he said, like, "What do you know about it? Or what can you tell me about him?" And I said, "You ask him to play football, he's shit. You ask him to run up and down all day and get on the end of things in the box. And if your team can allow for that, and Newcastle's actually quite good for him because they play a holding midfielder and Shelvey. Them two are going to play football, and they play wide men who, although St. Maximan and Alma are a bit unpredictable, they're going to be dangerous wide, and then Willock can arrive in the box. And look, he scored 3 goals since he's been there. It's not like he's played loads of games either. And he scored again in the last week, and recency bias in football. He scored against Tottenham and West Ham. Like, I'd be very surprised if we don't get 20 million for him. But bearing in mind, he's English. He's 20 years old. He's now, and I say this in air quotes, I know you can't see me, Premier League proven. Like, I think he's shit.
Yeah.
But there is certain teams that he will suit, and all of the things come into that favour. And especially now he's scored Premier League goals. I'd really expect at least 20 million for him, to be honest.
Roberta says, where is Schwinn? Hiding with a question mark. And Schwinn was, look, Schwinn's in India at the moment. The timing is like 3 a.m. in the morning for him. He came on yesterday's show because he had a lot to say, obviously, about the Super League, and wanted his opinions to come across. Look, everybody is entitled to their opinions, I guess, and his opinions are more same value as myself and Tony and Addy. Like,
no, they're not the same value as mine.
Just because they're different. Because I did see somebody else, regular listener,
Golson fan, who's your burner account.
Golson fan, mentioned about Schwinn as well. That Schwinn, I haven't got it in front of me, but it was something Schwinn would be probably very pissed off with this Super League not going ahead now, or shocked, I think it may have been. So Schwinn was like you, Addy. He wanted it. He was happy for it, and yeah, he wanted it. So no, he's not hiding. He's just probably sleeping in India at the moment. No, Slayer, and there's a couple of questions on this. You and I, Emery, we're going to meet him in Europa League, is most likely to do us over. And Roberta mentioned something about Emery as well, I thought. But
I have no Jack rang me on Sunday, actually. I have no fucking interest in this Arteta versus Unai narrative. It's us against Villarreal. Villarreal are a decent side. And I'm worried about playing Villarreal. I don't really care who their manager is. When we was playing Tottenham, I didn't go, oh, we're playing Mourinho. I was like, oh, we're playing Tottenham, and they've got Harry Kane, and they've got Son, and they've got this player and that player. I don't think I've ever gone into a game and thought, oh no, it's this manager. We're playing the team we're playing, and look, Villarreal are half decent. Moreno seems to be scoring every time he looks at a football at the moment, which is worrying. And it's Arsenal. It depends what Arsenal turn up. But yeah, I have no interest in the narrative of Arteta versus Emery. If we lose, it's not necessarily because Unai done Arteta. And if we win, it's not necessarily because Arteta got one over on Emery. It's two teams playing. For me, it's our ex-manager. And look, let's be honest, we've never played against, well, not never, but in a long, long time, we haven't played against an ex-manager because Wenger was there for so long. And George Graham was done at Tottenham in, I think, 2001, 2002. He kind of left football. So that's 18, 19 years that we haven't played against an ex-manager. So maybe we're just not used to it. But for me, and I know that's what the media is going to bill it as because they need a selling point.
That's a massive selling point for the media, manager versus manager. And I would think it's probably something, it probably holds a little bit of something for the players, like maybe Lacazette or Aubameyang didn't get on with Emery. Well, that's what I mean. I don't even know who's going to be playing, to be honest. But like Denny, he came in with Emery, so I don't think there's bad blood there or anything. But there'd be one or two maybe senior players who.
I'm just speaking from the fans' point of view. From the fact, I know I'm going to see it and it's going to be everywhere, but I couldn't care less about the Arteta versus Emery narrative. And as I said, that's what's going to be, especially on Twitter. You know what it's like, or on social media. Just it's not for me. Like for me, it's us against a good Spanish team that if we turn up, I expect us to win. If we don't, I expect us to lose. And I think you could put Ronald McDonald in charge of them. And if we don't turn up, they'll beat us. And if we do, we will. So yeah, that's my point of view on it. I'm just I can't be. I know I'm going to hear it non-stop. I just can't be bothered.
Roberta asked, do we need anyone else next season? Saka, Smith Rowe and Balogun. Absolutely. It's going to be good to see those youth players playing. I don't know if Balogun, there's so much riding on this young kid, isn't there? It's Addy, were you on the pod the other week when we were talking about him?
About Balogun?
Balogun, yeah, we were discussing on, he obviously looks good on YouTube. I haven't seen much of him. I said to Tony, I might have seen one game or something. So it's very hard to say too much about him. I don't know.
From my point of view and from what I've seen of him, I was saying that he, even earlier on in the season, he was a striker that was more suited to play in the Premier League over Eddie. Eddie shouldn't have been our third choice striker. It should have been or third or fourth choice. Balogun should have always been ahead of Eddie in the year. And obviously, maybe it's because he hadn't signed the contract and everything like that. So there was some internal politics, but he should have still been there, whatever the case. And I do feel that he will add something different as a striker than Lacazette does and Aubameyang does. The only thing with that comment now, like obviously Arsene Wenger from that invincible team, obviously he tried to win things with kids, as to say, or with a young team, and obviously one of the key things that were missing was that experience, was the know-how, was the you know what, okay, this is that winning mentality. And as much as I love Smith Rowe, Saka, your Martinellis, your Balogans, you need the right personnel within the team to actually carry them forward and bring them forward. We can't just go now and say, okay, yeah, we're going to just start a youth revolution again and try, because even during the Arsene Wenger time, I thought the youth team we had and the youth players we had were elite players, and you could see they had something about them. But we do have a good crop of youth team players. We just need to put the right things around them for us to achieve something next year and achieve something positive next year.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I was just having a little scroll through Twitter, and as we were recording, I was just seeing what other news had come through, and I was actually just reading that a lot of stuff's trending. You know, the Glaziers and Kroenke are backed into a bit of a corner, and rumours are reported that both are looking to get out now. So it's going to be an interesting couple of days, I guess.
£2 billion deals don't happen in days.
No, I know, but it's going to be interesting too how these rumours go, Tony. And
yeah, I mean, look,
a takeover is going to take time, but yeah.
I don't know what the Aussie equivalent is of this, and it may even be this, but football clubs don't just go on Rightmove. Like, you don't just, there's no eBay to buy in an Arsenal. Like, when a football club is never for sale and always for sale at the same time, because if the right offer comes in, clubs get sold. I don't know if any of you or any of the listeners are into watches, and the advice with watches is they're always for sale, but they're never for sale. I mean, obviously not ones from the shop. I mean collectibles, because if the right price comes in, you get rid. That's how our football clubs work. It's not like tomorrow we're going to see on a website that, like, it's not going to go on Arsenal.com. Kroenke puts Arsenal up for sale.
Yeah, no.
That's just not
and
how it works.
plus as well, the Premier League will need to vet.
Well, I think that the FA.
Well, do you know? I was going to bring this up earlier. Sorry, Tez. I was going to bring this up earlier. If the Saudis come back in that were at Newcastle for an Arsenal or Man United, do they suddenly pass the fit and proper persons test? That would be fucking interesting. The difficulty of that is they were trying to buy Newcastle because it cost about 100 million, whereas Arsenal is, as I said, circa 2 billion, and United are probably closer to 3. So whether that, I'm not saying they can't afford it, but whether they're not interested in that price. But it'd be very interesting, because it's the worst kept secret in football that the Big Six rejected that the Saudis could take over, and that's Newcastle, and that's why it didn't happen. But now it's one of the Big Six potentially who are looking for new owners. Would they suddenly, in the last 6 months they've become fit and proper people? I mean, that test is a fucking joke anyway, but nothing would highlight it more than them Saudis going in and buying Arsenal, Man United.
Well, stuff's coming in. Like, whoever this James Ollie is, he's tweeting some interesting stuff on ESP. Sorry, that's my daughter in the background. Levy, he's in a statement and he regrets the upset. Obviously the proposal for the Super League. A lot of these chairmen now are in damage control. I've seen also Juventus or Juve. They're looking to sack him. So whoever the head of most of the clubs were, it seems like the decision, some heads are going to roll here. So this is where it's going to be more interesting.
what people are missing with Arsenal, because we hate Kroenke so much, is that Vinay is the Daniel Levy. He's I forget the Juventus guy's name, but he's the one that's, to be honest, I think he's going to be sacked. Not really through much fault of his own, but he's left that the ECA. I doubt he can just trot back in and go back and be involved again. So if that position becomes untenable, then the Arsenal have to put a new face in there. And I don't know if Vinay is good at his job or not. I have no fucking idea. But I think what's going to happen is he'll lose his job, and Arsenal fans will go mental and go, "It wasn't him, it was Kroenke." But and they're right. But as I said, I highly doubt that Vinay can go and stroll back into that ECA conference room and say, "All right, lads, what's going on now? How's your missus?"
Hey guys,
I'm back. And you're seeing tweets come through. Stan Kroenke open to selling the club. Like this is just so bullshit. Like, Josh Kroenke remains against it, but this Nigerian, he's planning a bid for several years now. He'll likely launch a first bid tomorrow. Like, I'm just what's his name? R24. He's who has been planning a bid for several years. Now will likely use this opportunity to launch his first bid. He's ready to overpay to fulfill his dream of owning Arsenal. Like, are you for real? Like,
Addy, where's your background from? What country?
Nigeria.
Yeah, I thought so. Do you know much about him?
Yeah, no, hold on. This guy is rich, so it's not even a thing where does he have the money.
I don't think that's questionable.
Him as a fan as well, he's out and out Arsenal fan as well. So it's not even a thing where I just want to buy the club because it's obviously for him he'll also see it as an investment. Let's be right. He's not going to think, I'm going to just buy it because I want to buy the club or I want to own it. No, he's going to see it as an investment as well. But then, obviously, at the same time, he has that love for the club as well. So, which is a plus. And he's a footballing man in the sense that he actually watches football. He understands football. As opposed to Kroenke, who they don't know what they care about American football as opposed to football here in the UK. So I think I think it can be done. I do think he's been really strategic with what he's doing in terms of his business, which is why he hasn't made a move, or maybe the price isn't right for him or anything like that. And he feels that Arsenal might not be the right value for him. But I think if there is an opportunity for him to purchase it at a cheaper rate, he would do that.
So is he slapping 2 billion on the table tomorrow morning?
No, I think if he comes tomorrow morning, he'll offer 1 billion. Yeah,
which
that's what I would say. He's a shrewd businessman, and that's what I like. Is he not the richest in Africa?
I think I remember Googling him once and wondering who he was. Really? So my daughter's sitting here. My daughter's sitting here with me, and she goes, "I'm going to play some TikTok now." While I'm trying to record a podcast. Wow. Anyway, so I done a bit of Googling on him, but
sorry, just quick. Net worth 10.1 billion as of 2020. Sorry, 12.1 billion. Sorry, $12.1 billion, and he's richest in Africa. So as I said, it's not. Money isn't going to be the problem. It will just be, is it the best business deal for him now? If he can get it for cheap, if we can get it for 1 billion, I think he's.
The other thing I wanted to know, Addy, is how do I put this in? The Chelsea owner. there was a little bit of worry when he came in. Who is this Russian billionaire? And do we want to jump in bed with a Russian billionaire? I don't not and you could go on cast aspersions about everything else, what he's done in the background and how close he is to Putin and stuff. But I'm not getting involved in that. But where does he sit in terms of
Morality?
Morality. I guess, yeah.
I'm just gonna, before you say about him, every billionaire has no morals.
I was gonna say, because obviously there was a scandal with him and the one.
I don't know if there was any scandal or anything, but you don't become a billionaire with no scandals. But
hold on, his one scandal of infidelity, not like money laundering. But then this is the thing. Obviously, in Africa, obviously he has his hands in basically everything, cement, food. Like he's part, which is why he's basically the richest. And it's not just Nigeria; it's like literally Africa.
So you see, obviously in Africa, you do see a little bit of, you see stuff that isn't real good. He's not in shady stuff. He's not involved in any of that stuff.
Yeah, no, well, obviously.
Well, he'd pass a fit and proper. He'd pass a fit and proper.
He'll pass a. If he had to be vetted by the Premier League, he'll pass it because he doesn't have like any links to or any bad links like the Saudis and like no human rights nonsense or anything like that. Like literally,
that's what I meant.
He's a straight up businessman. He has his businesses and he can account for everything. Obviously, are there going to be shady stuff in the background? Yeah, like in terms of him getting contracts in certain countries, but then obviously you can use that. You use your name to get contracts, similar to the politicians in England, and like they use their name to get favorable contracts.
Oh, I get that. Yeah, I get that.
So that's what it is. Yeah.
Right, we are beginning. I'm just going to run through a couple of these questions on Twitter, and it's not really questions, boys. You guys, if you just want to jump in, but it's more lots of thoughts and stuff. Hakon Larson, he's back. He gives us lots of thoughts.
Yeah, I saw like 4 questions from him.
He says, "Fuck Fulham, shit game. Discuss the Super League, which we did yesterday, and a bit of Slavia. That was a good away performance. Is the reason why Arsenal want the Super League? That club is so fucking useless with no money, and income would immense, easy and fast. So yeah." Sugar Daddy says, "How the fuck does Gabby keep getting starts over Mary?" Very good point. I don't know.
My only hope is that it's the rotation.
Yeah.
I hope. I wouldn't put my house on that. That's what I'm fucking praying it is.
MAA Gunner, he says, "Don't forget the Slavia Prague review, which we've done. Hack on enough VAR can fuck off that Saka situation as a dive and just top the fucking cake. How do we really fix the poor refereeing in general?"
We need to go on strike.
Well, look, do you know the whole Super League thing, has it made fans too powerful? Like, if we now protest against VAR, one, how do you go about it? But two, does it get anywhere? Because you can't hurt VAR financially, but you'll hurt the clubs. So does VAR think, well, fuck you, it's not cost us anything? Or does the Premier League think, shit, we're losing barrel loads of income and interest? I mean, the thing is, I've come forward with ways to improve VAR a million times, and they ain't going to do it. So although I have answers to the question, I've aired them here pretty up what feels like every week, and nothing's going to change. Again, it's great what fans have managed to do over the last few days. It's a worrying thought if we become too powerful, because you can't have mob rules. You can't.
No, you can't. Yeah, no, that's right.
But
that's right.
If people will try, there'll be something ridiculous that fans will try and and it might be VAR. And look, don't get me wrong, I don't like it, but I don't think fans marching about should get it changed, to be honest. But we'll see.
Yeah, but then that's the thing. Yeah, fans shouldn't need to to protest and anything like that. Like, especially when it comes to VAR, this one should just be so common sense. But one of the sayings in Nigeria is that common sense is not common, and these guys that are running the show here in the Premier League, they're just you scratch your head, and I've been scratching my head so much this year. I'm actually losing my hair because you're thinking like, how do you keep making these stupid decisions? And it just keeps going on and on. So as much as cool, we don't want the fans, but I think it will get to a stage where it's just gonna be an uproar. Like if this continues, it's just gonna.
I agree with you, but I wouldn't have before Sunday, because now the fans know they can win. They're gonna try it with all sorts of shit, which for me is not a good stance, because as I said, you're gonna get something ridiculous is gonna come up, be it VAR or be it something so small. But fans are going to go, oh, we always win, so let's throw our toys out the pram again. And I'm not saying they threw their toys out the pram on this situation, because I stand by the fans and I think they were right. But now they know that they can win, because it's never been done before, really. It may be ticket prices. It may be...
No, but they need to go back to UEFA then. They need to go back to UEFA, because UEFA have a lot of things to answer for. Like
that's where I hope. That's what I hope the fans go. I said, oh, sorry, you missed the start of the show.
Yeah,
that's where I hope the fans' protests go. And I said at the start, don't stop now. Move on to UEFA, move on to racism, move on to social media, as in abuse on social media.
Yeah,
like move on to all of them things. Move to getting Kroenke out. But they're worthwhile causes. As I said, I don't want it to get stupid where they're, for example, I don't really rate any of the referees. I think Oliver's the best, but I don't really rate any of them. I don't want it to get to a point where fans are marching in the street to get one particular ref out just because they now know they're powerful and know they'll probably win. If every club agreed to get Craig Pawson out, and I'm just picking on him because he done our game the other day, it would happen, but it shouldn't. Or Sean Massey gave an offside that wasn't offside. Let's all fucking hammer it on social media and march about it and get us sacked. Like, I really hope it doesn't go down that route, but I really fear it will.
Hack on, he's very pissed here. He continues. Most big teams has a preferred starting 11 and most consistent.
I saw this one.
When the fuck will Arsenal manager find his best 11? I don't know, boys. It's so inconsistent. It's ridiculous. I don't know. I don't even know what Arteta, what he thinks when he puts a team sheet out. Like, as I said before, half of me was thinking, oh, maybe this Super League thing. And I know, right? This thing has been bopping along for years, but I reckon the last couple of months, it's a few people have known about it. Clubs have known about it. TV right holders have also known about it. And I think the announcement just really come out at a fucked up time and completely
I didn't know. I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that because I'm telling you from Optus Sports' point of view, to not win next year's Champions League rights and Europa League rights absolutely blew us all away. Like, these guys hold the rights to the Premier League and built the whole platform around football. So it blew us all away. Flick Sports won the rights, a little startup company in Sydney, paid $60 million for these rights.
What did Optus pay the time before?
I'm not sure. I don't think it was disclosed.
Well, because it's the same as when BT came in and bid $1 billion for the Champions League. It wasn't because there was any messy business going on. They just needed to disrupt the market. And I mean, in boxing, you've had Triller come along and just paying stupid money for absolutely everything. If me and you said you'd have a fight, Triller would pay £1 million for it because they're trying to disrupt the industry. That's what happens. As I said, I know for sure Sky Sports didn't know. And obviously Sky Sports were worried about losing, not getting TV rights, but also I think the Premier League contract's up in a year, which is what really shit Sky up. They're probably going to lose that anyway, to be honest, because I think the zone will come in. But I know for sure Sky didn't know about it because, I mean, I know through other ways, but also if Sky knew about it, they would have aired it at the first possibility. They wouldn't have waited till the clubs come and announce it and then reject it and then gone mad about it. They would have said the moment they found out, teams are going to do this. This is why it's wrong. Stop it before it starts.
Yeah, maybe. But look, and yesterday after I said I felt sorry for Sports Flick because they are a startup company. I have to I still feel sorry for them because it's a massive ding into them because now obviously they've spoke to UEFA and they've declined to go ahead with the TV rights for next year. So as it stands today, the Champions League rights and the Europa League rights are up for grabs for anyone to grab them, I guess.
Yeah, they'll go back in then.
They'll go back into the bidding process, and I'd imagine
that flicker will go back in now. Or
maybe, yeah. I don't know how it works, but it was just so bizarre, though, Tony. Like I said, like to know the landscape over here, Optus Sports, like they won it all from Fox Sports,
but presuming
blew everyone away.
How these contracts tend to work, it may be different, but this is how they usually work within all media. Is the current whoever it is, Optus, tend to have a first last agreement, which is they make their bid, anyone else can come and beat that, and then Optus get told that price and they can beat it if they want. And if and that's what happened with Sky and BT, but Sky were paying like 400 or 500 million and then BT come and said $1 billion. So then Sky had the option, but they didn't see the value in it or they couldn't afford it. That's what usually happens. Or the other option, there's two ways these things work. The other way is everyone submits a sealed bid of their best offer, no chances. So you all put down, lock in an envelope, this is my offer, and the winner gets it. So they're the two options. So it could have just been that they got beat. They may have thought, we paid 30 million last year. It's a bit more popular, we'll pay 40. But then these new guys have come in with 50 and that's it. Like I'd be amazed if they knew. I'd be beyond stunned if media companies knew, because most of the employees of the clubs didn't even know. So it's not going to keep your edus in the dark and then go and tell John Smith from Optus Sports.
Yeah, no, I get. It just seemed like I said, it just kind of blew everybody away by shock. That was all. It was.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, it could just happen. Could be coincident.
Yeah, I mean, what this question actually asked, I know you went back onto the Super League, was about consistently picking the 11. And Ray Anderson's just said, and I agree with him, we're saying, rest players for the Europa League, that's what's important. But then he rotates in the league and everyone goes, fuck's sake, he's rotated. I agree he doesn't know our best team. I think he knows 8 or 9 of them. And then he caters to the opposition, which is sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing. But I don't think for the Fulham game, and even Addy, who's very Arteta out, isn't hammering for rotating for the Fulham game because it's what we all wanted. I think the arguments maybe he didn't rotate enough.
See, with me, personally, I would have wanted them to play a strong squad, and the reason why I wanted them to play a strong squad is that when you have strong performances and you continually have strong performances with the same squad, you build momentum. And that was one of my points I picked up with Arsene Wenger in that Europa League season, that your guys, you should be playing your Lacazettes, all these guys against your smaller clubs, so they're scoring goals, and then you should play them against the bigger clubs. So with me, I would have kept a strong team. Like the guys that are injury doubts, you pull them out, but the guys that are fully fit and like Pepe should have started that match.
I agree.
Pepe
That's probably the one. There's probably the one decision from that 11 that I probably don't agree with, and Xhaka to an extent.
Yeah, but exactly. Even with Xhaka, I would. Look, he played Bellerin. Like I don't know his plans for Bellerin, but I would have put in Thingy. But then why didn't Cedric play?
No, I'd have played Cedric at left back. That's what
Yeah,
they said to me. Pepe should have started, and for me, Xhaka probably shouldn't have.
And
But then if I'm, or me personally, I'm speaking for myself. If I'm asking for rotation, I then feel it's a bit rich of me to then moan about
I'm asking
rotation.
rotation. I'm asking
No,
him
I'm
to
talking for me. Yeah,
play a stronger squad.
that's what I'm talking for me. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking for me. If I'm asking for rotation, then I can't really criticize for rotating. Even that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's the team I would have picked. I would have rotated, but picked Pepe and not picked Xhaka and maybe a couple of others. But as I said, it's for me, it'd be very hypocritical to go rotate and then go, oh, you fucking idiot, you rotated.
Yeah.
Like, as I said, and if you're not calling for rotation, then you're well within your rights to go, you're an idiot, you rotated. But as I said, for me, in my point of view, I'd be a hypocrite, which I am, but not in this situation.
Mm-hmm. No. I totally understand. So, to be fair, it was similar to Unai Emery. His decision to rotate basically the whole squad against Crystal Palace. Was it Crystal Palace? Was the first one?
Palace, Everton was the first one.
Oh, Everton was the first.
It was Guendouzi, and we went away, and out of the blue, it was El Neni Guendouzi, and we got back. We lost 1-0. I don't know.
Yeah.
The fact we got 0 was a miracle. It's one of the worst games I've ever been to. But yeah, it's that's what started it. And then Palace, you're right, he played them too, and Jenkinson.
But Jenkins, oh my gosh, man got yacked off Jenkins in halftime. Actually, that match just infuriated me.
This is then no one was calling for rotation, so that was just
yeah. No,
at least now I know I'm calling for it, and you're not, but the fan base is probably 50-50 that some want it, some don't. Then it was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Man, the good old days.
Tez, anymore?
Yeah, sorry, boys. There was one more question now. Oh, yeah, Michael says, which player would you say have improved since the start of the season, and which ones have done the opposite?
Oh, Jesus.
No.
Wow. The opposite. I mean, I don't know if I can put Hector in the opposite because I always think he's been shit.
Yeah.
Leno's been much worse than expected.
See, Hubbard's been worse than expected.
Yeah. But then have they? What's the opposite of improved? Got worse, or have they just not played well, or is Aubameyang's legs going? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they've got worse. I mean, I don't think Leno's got worse, to be honest. I just think we're seeing pretty much more of.
Hang on, yeah, well up, boys. You're forgetting the number one player.
Are you going to say Granit's got better or worse?
Granit has improved massively, and I don't. As a player, I feel he's improved massively.
You wanted to sell him 2 weeks ago.
Because I think you're going to get 100 mil for him, and I think the club needs it now. Now we haven't got 400 mil next week or whatever. We're completely fucked with the Super League. At least Granit will get you 100, maybe 130. Yeah, fuck. If Neymar can get 200,
you're talking about Australian dollars, yeah?
Not even.
Mate, come on,
Chinese yen.
PSG. If they're spending 200 million for Neymar, I can see them coming in at 140 for Granit.
Yeah, he's definitely drunk. Are you doing any TikTok challenges with your daughter?
Yeah. He's got Anton Deck in his earpiece saying him, go on, say Jack is worth 140. In terms of players that have improved, it's difficult because can you say Smith Rowe's improved? No one expected this from him. So is that an improvement or just a chance? And the same with Saka. No one expected the level he's playing at. Has he improved or has he just been given a chance to do that? I would say Saka's improved. Smith Rowe is very hard to say because we didn't see him before. But
I think he's improved. You have to say he's improved.
Yeah, I would say it's fair to say he's improved. Pablo Mari, I know he didn't get much chance last season, but no one thought he would be the player we're going, how can you drop?
Yeah.
So
Cedric.
Yeah. I think there's cases for a few players, but it doesn't matter.
But then I I look at the other one though, and I think Danny has not improved. He's probably gone the other way.
Do you know? Yeah, I
Right.
mean, do you know what's weird with Danny? I think he's always been in and out. His last 3 games has been his best 3 consistently for us. In a row. Like his best game for us was Burnley, but then we had Liverpool the week after, and it was probably his worst game for us, or in his top 3 worst games for us. So it's hard because if we was having this conversation 4 games ago, I'd go, "Yep, Danny's been terrible. He's gone backwards." Now he's played in a slightly different position, but I think he's been in our 3-2-1s for all 3 of them games.
Yeah.
So again, is it opportunity?
Lacazette. There's another one. Lacazette. Ray just mentioned.
But that's the thing. No, I think because I remember Lacazette first season. Like Lacazette was actually decent, and I don't think he's back at that level of his first season at Arsenal. I think
I don't think he's ever been decent, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I think it was decent.
He annoys the fuck out of me, right? Because I watch the TV and I think it's hard to say potential because I do still see what he can offer.
When your hairline's gone, you've got to stop talking about potential.
Yeah, that's right. He pisses me off when he drops so far deep, and I wonder. I don't watch much French league, right? So was he like that at Lyon?
At Lyon, no.
So was he like that? I don't know.
No, but then hold on. Look at that Emery first season. That was Lacazette's best season.
That to me, I know you wasn't. I know you wasn't on here at the time, Addy, but to me, that is the biggest robbery of a player of the year I have ever seen. That was a fucking war crime. Aubameyang got the golden boot, outscored him in the Europa League, scored a hat-trick in the semi-final, and we gave the guy with the hairline from somewhere else clarity. No. That honestly, every week on this show, I was like, I don't understand our fans. Every damn week.
This is why we brought in 3-2-1 because we were looking back thinking, oh, shit, maybe he was better than we thought. Let's bring in a 3-2-1, and then at least at the end of the season, we've got numbers to say, oh well, you can't argue with 3-2-1 every week. Can you?
No.
How can you get your golden boot in the first full season in the country, and they give this other guy who scored? This is his best goal scoring season for us in the league.
Yeah.
And he's got 12.
Like
we complained when Giroud got 12.
How is this guy? How did people vote him player of the year with their chest?
No way it was yet. It was.
He got them Russian bots. He got them Russian bots working together.
Someone's fucking something up.
Do you know what? Do you know 1 year? This is true. I don't know if it ever came out. One of my mates was working in Arsenal's social media team, and El Neni won Player of the Year. They done a public vote. You could vote for anyone, and Egypt just went nuts. So then they he didn't. I think he played like 2 games. So then they Arsenal like removed that option and just said like, here's 4 guys, whoever the 4 were, pick your Player of the Year out of them. But yeah, I mean, allow him. Just no, yeah, and I think Ray's right. I think it is 13 goals now.
Yeah, 13 goals.
Yeah.
Anyway, boys, look, I reckon let's wrap this shit up. But believe it or not, I thought a podcast for an hour would be enough, but we still managed to hit the 2-hour mark. So all them people who listen to us driving, yeah, thank you.
Long last drive it.
You stick around for 2 hours every week, and I have no idea how. But yeah, I do see you on the Spotify as well. And I was only saying to Tony before we started the show, I thought, shit, look at you on the Spotify. So I'm going to give this week a shout out to those in Norway on Spotify. I see you boys over there or ladies over there. There's not many ladies.
It's the Odegaard family.
That's it.
Norway, mate. There's a few listeners over there, so shout out to you guys. Thank you again, boys. We will be back next week, I guess, next Wednesday, Tuesday night for you boys in the UK. And yeah, that's it. That's us out. Goodbye and good night.
Cheers.